part. I should say, because sometimes it's good to be direct and to tell it as it is, I should say that one or two meetings of the G20 that I attended here was not very pleasing. The environment that one observed was not a pleasing environment. I say this so that we can improve immensely. As South Africans, we are proud people, and let us get that pride that we have, self-pride, lift us up so that we do present a G20 that will wow people, so that when people look at what we offer and present, they must just say, wow, this is how South Africans do it.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Current Affairs with Mboni. The president is a very unhappy man. Very unhappy with the state of Joburg. Very unhappy. He's not happy at all, which is understandable because as South Africa, we assumed the G20 presidency from 1 December 2024. The tenure of which will end later this year on the 30th of November, 2025, with the summit that they're currently preparing for. And only 5 years before the deadline of the United Nations 2030 agenda. So I can understand where President Ramaphosa is coming from. In a way I can, because the G20 is a very important platform. So the importance of South Africa's G20 presidency also can never be underestimated, because this is the first time ever we have an African president of the G20. So this is a big deal. It's really a big deal. So I understand why Ramaphosa suddenly has come out, because Gauteng, as the host city and the economic giant of South Africa, actually Gauteng is not just the economic giant of our country, it's also the economic giant of the continent. Not those claimers from somewhere in West Africa, the green, white and green. They're not the real giants, they're the fake giants. We're the real giants, but currently under a bit of a struggle, but giant nonetheless. So the G20 will be hosted right there in Gauteng, in Joburg, as the whole host city. And they're obviously preparing in anticipation of the summit, which takes place later in the year. So I can understand how it feels for Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, being the president who is hosting the world in South Africa, in Africa, for a G24 for the very first time. So I guess from where he's standing or sitting, there is a lot at stake. He has been in and out of Joburg, meeting with officials for the G20 summit preparatory meetings. Those preparatory meetings are happening right there in Joburg. And this is where he actually shocked and surprised many with his remarks about the state of Joburg, expressing his shock. And I honestly did not think that I would be surprised by his reaction, but I'm shocked. Like, where have you been? I mean, I thought he was aware, like the rest of us. He stays in Hyde Park, for goodness sake, where we see him occasionally taking walks, his morning walks there with his protectors in the streets there of Hyde Park. Perhaps, Hyde Park is still in good shape compared to its Joburg. The CBD and surrounding areas. Some have been victims of some degradation there. Many people are questioning how possible, that he never saw the decay. How do you just wake up shocked? But this is where we are. He is shocked. In his own words, he also mentioned the fact that a backwater little town called Addis Ababa is now a world-class city there in Ethiopia. The president literally said that Joburg used to be like that. That statement hurt when he said Addis Ababa is now like a world-class city, beautiful, lots of trees, this and that. And Joburg used to be the same. And it is not the same anymore. The president said Addis Ababa has managed to create, Ethiopia has managed to create Addis Ababa to be a city with an enticing environment for investors. And Joburg, not so much. We are regressing in whatever it is. In whatever space we are regressing. And people have varying opinions, obviously, with regards to what actually caused the destruction, the degradation. Because the president actually said Joburg is torn. He even used a vendor word called Yokeroa, like it is torn, literally torn. When something is torn, idabukile. He said idabukile. So, yeah, it's yours. Something has happened to Joburg. It's really, really sad. But people are wondering what actually caused the destruction. Apart from the fact that the president said Joburg is full of old infrastructure which needs to be replaced or refurbished, what caused the degradation? Fikile Mbalula, the General Secretary of the ANC, claims the decay started happening when Joburg fell in the hands of the coalition. Even now as I speak, Joburg is still under a coalition government. That's been their politics for a while, since the Zuma presidency. So I don't know, maybe they're struggling to work as a coalition, I don't know, but this is what Mr. Mbalula is saying. But the loudest voices have been those of South Africans who have given us a glimpse as to what is actually the real problem on the ground. And I have not heard even the president alluding to that fact, or even the premier and the mayor, or the mayor of Joburg City, the premier of Gauteng. I've not even heard them sing from the same hymn as the loudest voices I've been hearing of the normal, ordinary Joburg residents who have been screaming at the top of their voices. Even us in other provinces have been hearing them. They have been crying about illegal immigration, illegal foreigners that are flocking into the city, who come and flock into the city, ignore bylaws, hijack buildings, and add to our crime statistics. So this is what South Africans have been saying. Not the president. The president has not said that. Neither has Mr. Panyaza and his mayor, Mr. Dada Morero. They have not said anything about that aspect. There are other problems, but not that one. So, which is not really strange to me for Lesotho and Dada Morero to behave like that, because they have not been acting like patriotic leaders to me. They can't even utter the words illegal foreigners. And this is like what South Africans, what Joburg residents are saying is a problem in that province that they need to see getting fixed. You should see how they behave even on social media and elsewhere. When Home Affairs and the police are doing raids and they're arresting illegal foreigners, they get very excited. But it happens few and far between. It's not a consistent effort. And the syndicates that Panyaza Lesotho is referring to, that he says are also contributing to the rot by stealing copper cables and the like. We all know who they are, because they're doing this everywhere else, not just in Gauteng. They're Zimbabweans. We see them appear in our courts all the time for that particular crime being reported. It's been reported in the papers and everywhere else. We see that it's them, but he won't mention that it's them. I guess South Africans are deliberately destroying their city. We see Zimbabweans steal our cables all the time. Not even that. With Zimbabweans, if they don't, with Zimbabweans, they even have. We even see them getting arrested for spiking our roads. South Africans are saying mass deportations is what they want, and if you don't do that, your G20 guests will come there and get spiked. Then, in that case, if you don't do that, but at least President Ramaphosa agrees with many South Africans on the ground who are saying even mass deportations, but who are saying fix Joburg. He agrees with them that yes, Joburg desperately needs renovation and His glory restored. To be honest, Joburg is scary. Joburg is a shadow of his former self. Everybody who's familiar with Joburg now and pre-2010 knows the truth. We are not lying when we say Joburg is a shadow of his former self. And Ramaphosa believes that the presidential Johannesburg working group that he has formed will be the vehicle to assist Joburg regain its former glory. Good luck. We hope to see this actually work. Whatever, do something, but something must just be done. If it's your presidential Johannesburg working group, please let this work. He said in fact it has worked in KZN and managed to bring back some tourism in Durban. So let's hope it will also work for Gauteng. Let's hope. I don't know. And the president also mentioned the fact that even land expropriation, the Land Expropriation Act, will be used to expropriate hijacked and abandoned private buildings. This is part of the plans to fix Joburg. So, when those buildings are being expropriated, I know it will affect a lot of illegal foreigners that reside in those buildings. So, they will not have a home. Maybe they will go to their real home then. I don't know. So, we're very happy to hear some of these steps. I'm happy, at least something rather than nothing, because it's been nothing for a long time. And we thank the G20 summit being hosted in the country, because Joburg is now getting the attention it desperately deserves. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please comment down below whether President Ramaphosa genuinely did not know that Joburg was collapsing. Please also please don't leave without liking and subscribing to my channel. See you on the next.
Chaos. It's shaking in the CBD. It's shaking in the CBD. Hey, what? All right.